Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to our 2021 annual meeting. My name is Kara Clements, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Financial Education, and I'll be your moderator today for this virtual meeting. Before we get started, I would like to run through a couple of technology notes about today's meeting. If you have any questions at any time, please select the question mark at the top of the screen, and then a dialog box will open, allowing you to submit your question. We'll try to answer questions where we can today, and we'll follow up with any additional questions afterwards. During our meeting, two documents will be referenced. First, our 2020 annual report and our 2020 annual meeting minutes. These documents were linked in the confirmation emails you got yesterday and an hour ago, and they are also in the website, in our website on the annual meeting event page. During the meeting, you'll be asked to vote on two motions: approving our 2020 annual meeting minutes and approval to adjourn. During that time, a slide will appear for you to select yay or nay. So here's our agenda for the morning meeting. Our chairman, Jim Horn, will kick us off and share some highlights from our 2020 annual report. And then we'll turn it over to Julian White, our board treasurer, for his report. And before we close out our meeting, our president and CEO, John West, will talk about the state of our credit union and introduce a video that demonstrates how 2020 went for Call Federal. Again, I want to welcome you today, and after determining that we have a quorum, I will officially call the Call Federal 2021 annual meeting to order at 11:03 a.m. on May 22nd. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our chairman, Jim Horn, who has served on our board for more than 25 years. Thank you for your service to the credit union, Jim. I'd like to invite you to get us started.
Right. I think the first thing on the agenda was the approval of the minutes it was in your link. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second. Okay. And as Kara said, the voting should be up. So the minutes were approved, but to start off, good morning and thanks everyone for joining. To start it off, there was nothing normal about 2020. So I begin with a note of teamwork shown to carry us through. This past year, John kept me posted on how the challenges of the coronavirus were being met. Meeting the changing needs of our members was always the top priority. Beginning in March, we went through a broad allocation of resources associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. While some of the branches did close for a time, the staff from those locations were able to assist with the added drive-through volumes at our other branches or joining the call center team. Our phone associates and other non-branch team members quickly, effectively, and securely transitioned to work from home, thanks to the exceptional work of our IT and operations teams. I'm proud to say that Call Federal not only weathered the storm, we made great progress. Strategic objectives were largely met, member service evaluations remained exceptionally high, and our commitment to our value proposition was demonstrated by launching our online financial education portal and youth education resources. Our ATMs were upgraded and the Zillow payment platform was implemented, making it easy for our members to send and receive money online. Last but not least, we formally began the process of becoming an employer of choice, which will enable us to grow and serve our members better by attracting optimizing and retaining the top talent in our area. As the world rebounds from this global health crisis, you can feel confident, as I do, that Call Federal is poised to thrive and grow in the years to come. Thank you once again for the honor of serving as your chairman.
Thank you, Jim. Next up, our treasurer, Julian White, who has shared his expertise as a CPA with our board for the last 9 years. Julian, please tell us about the financial picture for 2021.
Good morning. The Board of Directors are pleased to inform the members that Call Federal Credit Union maintained a good financial position throughout 2020. We were able to fulfill Call's mission and assisted our members during this unusual year based on the impact of the pandemic. At this time, we're going to look at a summary slide and follow up with a few observations. As you see, during the year, we originated $142 million in loans, which basically resulted in $38 million loan growth. Deposits grew by $76 million. We merged with River Trace Federal Credit Union. We assisted members impacted by the pandemic, and you can see the detail there per the slides. And lastly, the net worth ratio remains strong at 10.19%. And as you'll see later, it's just a reminder, we're required by the CUNA, which is the National Credit Union Administration, to maintain 6%. So we ended the year in a strong financial position. Next slide. As far as total assets, we ended the year at $480 million. Shares, we had $424 million. As far as loans, which were $249 million, that was a rounding 18% growth over the prior year. And lastly, we ended the year with a strong net income of $1,160,000. And again, just to emphasize, lastly, the balance sheet net worth ratio was 10.19%. So we exceeded what we were required to by the NCUA. Basically, if you have questions regarding this report or these numbers, please reach out to John West or Bill Yasko for any explanation that's needed. This is the Treasurer's report.
Thank you so much, Julian. Now, let's hear from our President and CEO, John West, to tell us about how Call Federal weathered what we all know was a really tough year.
Yep. Thank you, Kara, and thanks for everyone attending today. So as you heard from our chairman and our treasurer, 2020 was a challenging but successful year at Call Federal. The reason for this success is simple. It's all about the people. Our focus throughout this pandemic has been to ensure the safety of our staff and members while continuing to provide exceptional member service. I'd like to take this time to thank our board of directors for their support and guidance as we navigated this ever-changing environment. I'd like to thank our staff for their flexibility, dedication, and compassion they demonstrated on a daily basis while managing their own personal challenges associated with COVID-19. Finally, I want to offer my sincere appreciation for our members. Your patience and understanding was on full display as we all adapted to the changing guidance and regulations that altered the way we do business. Without the commitment of these groups and the community as a whole, we would not be celebrating the success of Call Federal today. I truly believe we're a stronger organization, team, and community for the challenges we faced collectively. As the restrictions associated with COVID-19 begin to fade away and our lives hopefully return to normal, we at Call Federal remain committed to adapting to our members' needs. While I hope to see you all back in our branch lobbies, I know that some of these technologies adapted during the pandemic will remain at higher levels. Our focus will be to continuing the support of these initiatives while maintaining the high level of in-person service. Our ultimate goal is for our members to interact with Call Federal through the channel that meets your personal needs. Now I'd like to play you all a video that demonstrates our journey over the past year.
During this time, we knew that people were struggling. We were all going through the same challenges. We couldn't do the things we wanted to do, and it was difficult to engage and communicate because you didn't see people. But that being said, challenging times bring you together. You have to put forth the resources to get through it, and you don't get through it unless you have good people. We just had to step back and make the right decisions for our members and employee safety, and that's what we did.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
A lot of people had reduced income, their spouses lost their job, and we wanted to ensure that we can serve them to get through the short-term issues that were associated with COVID. So we put things in place like an emergency loan. So this is a short-term loan for people who lost their job that needed to make it through the next month or two. We waive skip-a-payment fees on loans, so this allows people to not pay for the month. We reduced our rates on the credit cards for a 3-month period so that they can make purchases in the challenging time, and we kept that balance APR for 12 months. We changed our hardship extensions, which allowed people to come in and basically renegotiate the payment terms on their loans for the next 90 to 120 days. We had to put so many things in place to make this happen. So being able to have the success stories where you serve people and you take care of them, that means a lot because we were able to help our members get through when we had to face obstacles to get there.
What brings you in today?
It has been a really tough year. When the pandemic hit, it was like the world fell apart. And already having behavioral issues with my son, who has autism and lack of employment, we were really scared and didn't know where to turn, and Call Federal just laid it all out in such understandable ways and made it just completely cut out our anxieties.
This website will tell you.
We were able to get medications that we hadn't been able to get as a result of saving money. And Colin he was just able to see through the fog that I didn't know that I even had. A little bit. All because Call Federal helped us refinance our car loan. I feel like I'm part of a community, and I feel like they'd notice if they didn't see me. And that's a huge deal, especially in our family.
Hey guys. 2020 was not an easy year. I went from having a nice office at Fort Lee to having to work out of a home that needed repairs.
Thank you very much.
My solution ended up coming up here to Call Federal to say, hey, I need help. Not only did we clear out most of my credit card debt, but we also situated it so I had enough in my equity line so that if I did have an emergency, I had something I could at least put down to repair it or to replace it. And that took so much stress off. It was just amazing. And that would not have happened if I had been a member of a regular bank. I've worked for 2 of the major banks, and I can truthfully say that you were just a number. Here, it's very different. They put together a solution for me that is as close to perfect as it can be.
Everyone's experienced quite a few challenges with the pandemic, and the biggest piece for us was ensuring safety while still providing service.
When they came to me in March, they said, Debbie, you need to get your things together and you need to work from home. Of course, fear set in me immediately. I left, took what I needed, and senior management was there every step of the way. It all worked out beautifully. I made about 80 or 85 masks for the entire staff at Call Federal to help them be a little bit safer because they had to go to the office and I didn't. So this was a little contribution that I could make. It takes a little bit of effort, but to me it's okay. You know, it's worth the effort to stay connected with everybody because I know, and hopefully soon, one day we'll be back together.
It is very difficult in a time like this to be out meeting and engaging with people, so we try to financially support some of our local initiatives. We work with Feed More on a yearly basis. We work with a nonprofit called Better Together, which helps children in the community with rare and special medical needs. And we worked with local restaurants purchasing gift cards and also contributing to a fund to pay restaurant staff.
So in 2019, we held our very first 5K. That was just an incredible event, and Call Federal stepped up to the plate and became one of our key sponsors. What I love about this relationship is they stuck with us and said, you know what, we're here to support you no matter what the event looks like. So we postponed it to the fall thinking everything will be fine by September, and well, as you know, everything wasn't fine. So that was a virtual event. And even with a virtual event, we had Call Federal employees come out to our drive-through and really just stood by us the entire time, both financially, but also with support of our organization through volunteers. It's really not about corporate and how they look in the community. It's about filling a need. And to us, that's really important.
He's 4 months old.
A lot has changed, and I think we got through it together. Our team is stronger, our culture is better, our relationship with the members we do see is better. We've actually grown as a financial institution as well. When you have good people who understand what they need to do and they're compassionate towards our members and they find the right solution for them, they tell their friends, they tell their families, and that's why we see the growth that we do. We've taken a couple steps moving forward that just make us foundationally stronger for the future.
Thank you guys so much for watching that with us. Now I'd like to turn it back over to Jim Horn to close us out.
Very good. Once again, thanks everyone for joining us today. Do we have a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
And I think the pop-up voting should be on everyone's screen. Very good. We've accepted the motion to adjourn. Once again, I would like to thank each one of you for joining us today, and have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. We will be placing a recording of this session on our website if you'd like to share it with any family or friends. In addition, we'll be emailing out the video that we showed today to all members to also share next week. Thank you all.